is a limited and infrequent interaction with nature, which is why it's incumbent upon us to ensure we build spaces and create opportunities for children to engage with nature every day. Now, when is that possible? That is possible when the distance from your home to your school is between 7 to 10 minutes. And your child can walk to school or cycle to school with his or her parent. And while they're walking to school, they should be able to feel the difference in temperature when they're walking in the shade of trees. They should be able to hear bird song and change and see the changing color of leaves. The lifelong mental health impact that will have on our children is being evidenced in the science. Today, doctors in Japan prescribe nature. When people are experiencing extreme stress and endocrine disruptions and other health-related issues, doctors actually prescribe nature. They say, spend more time in forests. Go do forest bathing. We grew up, I think a vast majority of the people in this room grew up in spaces where nature was abundant, free-flowing, accessible, and natural. It was something that we just had. We didn't have to go out seeking it. Do you all agree? Do you agree that our children have to look for natural spaces today? My son goes to a wonderful school in Santa Cruz. It's in an apartment building where there is no garden and there is no interaction and access to nature. There isn't even a playground. Now you would say, why does your son go to this school? I say because it's the Montessori system. It's a wonderful system of education. I want my son to have the opportunity to learn and have a foundation within that system. But what can I do to ensure he has interaction with nature every day? I make sure he's living in a space where he's looking out at plants and trees every day. Birds are visiting. We have sunbirds, we have coppersmith barbets, we have scaly-breasted munias, we have silverbills. These are names of species that my 4.5-year-old son knows because he sees them every day. He knows he can come back home from school and run out into the balcony and pluck blue pea flowers or aparajita and make himself some blue tea. He knows that the pomegranate plant in our balcony has died. How could the Mali kill it? Can we please go to the nursery and get ourselves one more? These are the conversations we have with each other. Now, as parents, these are the choices that we can actively make. Ensure that our children have a daily interaction with nature. I have the great privilege of also having owned a home in a building that has a large garden with old fruit-bearing trees. There is a badam tree, there is a mango tree that's over 70 years old. We have a neem tree. And within this garden, we have over 25 bird species. And it's the most magical place in the world for me because it is my personal sanctuary. And Avian spends every evening in this garden. We have conversations with our mango tree. I'm going to share one very special conversation. The war had broken out. I don't know whether we are calling it war yet or not. But the world was feeling like it's completely going into disarray and I was feeling very overwhelmed. And then the news of over 45,000 of our mangrove trees being cut became central to my consciousness and I was feeling very disturbed. So I went to this mango tree and I placed my hands on the trunk and I put my forehead on the trunk and I just took a moment to do what I do quite routinely, which is just open my heart to the wisdom a tree and only a tree can offer. And I really believe trees speak. And I moved away after a few moments of solidarity, feeling energized and stronger. And my son was playing around. And he comes up to me and he says, "Done talking to your tree? What did your tree to say to you today?" So I said, the tree said, "Don't worry, be happy." So he says, "Oh, I spoke to the tree as well a little earlier." I said, "Oh, really? What did the tree say to you?" So he said, "Don't worry, I'm always here." I share this because I think as an artist, it's my job and my responsibility to help people remember the emotional connection that we have with nature. You know, it's our ego and our avarice and our greed and our apathy that has taken us away from the natural world and helped us imagine or think we are capable of surviving without nature. It's wholly and entirely untrue. It's just not possible. We are nature and we need nature. And especially when we live in urban centers. Because with changing climates, with rising temperatures, with the intensity and the frequency of heat and drought and rainfall, trees and nature are what will protect us and save us and help us. I want to share another very alarming reality, one that many of us in rooms and places of privilege don't think about. We've all heard about the heat island effect, right? Yes? It basically means that because our cities are being built with glass and concrete and we're losing so much tree cover, our cities are trapping heat. Now, for the people that live in street situations, that live and work on the streets, construction sites, buildings, vendors, even people, domestic help, people who come to our homes to clean our homes so we can go out and live our full lives. All of these people live in environments that don't have any form of cooling. They have fans at best. Now 10 years ago or 20 years ago, the daytime temperature would be different from the nighttime temperature. There would be a significant shift. The nights would be much cooler, and therefore people who worked hard in the day would get an opportunity to truly rest at night. Their bodies would rest, recover from the strenuity and the extremities of the physical endurance they had to go through in the day, so they could find rest and peace at night, heal, and wake up the next day energized. There is research now that is showing us that a vast majority of people who don't have access to cooling in urban centers are not even getting their night's rest. They're not even getting 4.5 hours of deep sleep. Now, think of this. I can't function with sleep deprivation. And I say this as a mother. I've been through the first 2 years of early motherhood where, every night was disturbed. And I know this, and I will fight for this fiercely because I understand how important sleep is to our health, our well-being, our rationality, our emotional balance, our peace, our progress, our longevity. And so, in reducing green cover, we are also impacting social justice. We are driving inequity, Now, I always think, who are these people who are so comfortable with destroying living systems that protect and serve life? Who are these people? These are people who don't have a connection with nature, who don't feel any level of sadness when they see a tree being cut. because they didn't form a connection with nature and they don't understand how valuable nature is. But these are also people who are perhaps at some level completely misguided by greed. They're not greedy for good, they're greedy for money. And money in the short term, because again, it's impossible for anyone to flourish when all of us are dying. My hope as an artist, as an activist, always is to try and encourage all people everywhere, especially people working within systems of government and policy, to make their connection with nature again, find their way back to their childhoods, find their way back to that emotional center that was alive and empathetic and kind, and make decisions from that place of empathy. Now, the good news is that every piece of infrastructure or development that is being designed can be informed from an ecological mindset. It can be done not to destroy nature and make space, but it can be done with taking knowledge from nature and creating space. I hope that this effort that Weber was making with Vriksha Vardhan brings and unites all of us together, and we can truly demonstrate through word and action that we can create living, breathing, green, beautiful centers of life that we will call future cities. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Mirza. As I was going through your keynote address,